social shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only a few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Big up, people. We are back in the building. We're here for our Euro Club fourfold. Another week, another set of games. It's the first set of games for quite a lot of these teams, and we've got a cup game thrown in there. Guys, please make sure you are, as per usual, as always, as you guys do, make sure you are smashing that like button. Make sure you do share and leave your comments in the comment section as well. Big up to those who have, watched the previous episodes, and big up to those who obviously been engaging and, really like the series, man. Like I said, this is going to be something that we're going to be doing throughout the season. But without further ado, the teams already. You can see on the bloody thumbnail. Let's kind of get into it. So we've got Bayern Munich first up. Now, as I said before, you've got a few teams who have obviously started their league. They are not one of them just yet. Just yet. So their first game, would I say, of the competitive season was a cup game. 4-0 victors. Comfortable game, if I'm being totally honest with you. It wasn't really anything, any problems or anything like that. He put out a really, strong lineup for the game. I will admit that. In terms of, you look at, in goal, obviously you had Neuer. In defense, you had Guerrero, Upamecano, Kim-Min-Jae, Kimmich, Pavlovic in midfield, Serge Gnabry, Musiala, Matisse Tel, Thomas Muller, up top. And that's not even their strongest team, which is crazy to think. So maybe it's just the depth, in regards to, a team like Bayern. And when you still got players like Harry Kane, Mikel Olise, João Palhinha, Alphonso Davies, Kingsley Coman, I'm looking at the names here. It's crazy. You still got all of these kind of players, to play throughout the season. Leroy Sané and stuff like that. So Bayern, in my opinion, Bayern got a strong team. Now, the only positions I'm looking at in terms of Bayern is honestly just in defense. That's where I feel like they are at their weakest. Now, unless you're just going to be lucky, obviously, look, the window's not closed yet, so anything can happen. But unless you're going to be super lucky and you're able to not have that much injuries and you can keep kind of the same back four, maybe throw in another person or two in there, then cool. But if you do get injuries, Bayern will have problems. I'll be honest with you. That's when you're going to, I know that there's conversations in regards to like Leon Goretzka, in terms of him not really being a part of the first team plans. But hey, listen, you might as well just keep him because someone gets injured at centre back, and you know what I mean? I know you still got Eric Dyer in that, but you may need to start shifting around players. That's all I'm saying. You may just need to start shifting around players. But listen, in regards to the game, their competitive season will start. I believe they got their first game on the 25th of August, which will be on the weekend. So yeah, obviously we'll cover that next week. But yeah, man, like I said, it was pretty simple. Olise, big up to Olise, one of my favorite players in world football right now. Wish he was playing for my club currently, but listen, man, you snooze, you lose. Got himself an assist in the game. Yeah, man, I think, when it comes to someone like Mikel Olise, and I was, literally thinking about this a while ago, which is Mikel Olise, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman, Matisse Tel. Yo, when it comes to attacks, I don't know a better one, In terms of depth, that's a lie. Well, nah. In terms of depth, no, I don't know. Because obviously the obvious ones is Real Madrid. But they don't have depth, in my opinion. They've just got Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo in attack. So outside of that, unless Endrick, I know if you want to count him as well, but obviously that three alone will beat any three that Bayern Munich have. But if any of them were to get injured or they had to play someone else there, I don't really feel like their options off the bench are, of that kind of quality. Like it would look better, for example, if they even just had like a Leroy Sané, just one more person kind of thrown in there just in case, or even a Serge Gnabry, someone of that kind of level. That's when I could look at it and be like, they probably got the best attack, out there in terms of depth. Obviously, front three, if you just looked at it on paper, it's going to be Real Madrid every day. So I don't want any Real Madrid fans to start crying in my mentions. But yeah, if we're talking about depth of attack, I really like Bayern Munich. I can't lie to you. And then you've got, to me anyway, one of the better players in world football, which is Jamal Musiala. He's so young, and I'm calling him one of the better players in world football. That, to me, that kind of, you know, what I mean, he's such a baller, such a baller. And again, even in this game, again, Harry Kane didn't play, you know, or didn't start the game. Alphonso Davies, you know, you still got there. Like, there's a few players who weren't even starting this kind of game. And obviously, they don't need to, of course. But I feel like they would look at this as more like a preseason kind of game anyway, and then obviously get the victory, because it's competitive, but it's still so early against such a weakened team. It's just more for the fitness and stuff like that. So yeah, man, listen, 4-0 to Bayern Munich. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Now on to Lyon. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. 3-0 they lost in their first game of the season. It was embarrassing. Mistakes led to some of the goals. The third goal was a really good goal from Rennes. Honestly, the only way I can describe it was just an embarrassing game, you know, all round. I mean, even Mikatatse, he even missed a penalty as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like Mendanda, like when I saw that, I was like, bro, come on, man. This ain't 2016 or 14 or whatever, man. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it was honestly a poor performance, you know, from them. You know, I mean, it's only Sofa score, so again, take it with a pinch of salt. But even, you know, Niakite, you know, didn't really play that well anyway. Mangala didn't really play that well, in my opinion. Even Max Sensi, I know they've given him a high rating and they've given Ben Rama. I don't think anybody really played well in that game. I'll be honest, it just looked all disjointed. It looked kind of like it was all over the gaff, you know, from how I saw it. So yeah, man, I wasn't really too impressed, man. And I was sitting there because I think I think Marseille won their game, and I was sitting there thinking, hey, did I choose the wrong team? But obviously we're not here. I don't really care in regards to that. Like, it is really to take a focus. But listen, Mikatatse, ultimately you need to be scoring those penalties. You really do need to be scoring those penalties. I know it's, in the grand scheme of things, it may not have changed the picture, but it may have. You never know. It just may have, and it would have been good for you to get, you know, your first kind of goal, you know, of the season. But I'll be honest with you. I know you got Nemanja Matic in there, but again, he was someone I'm looking at. For, you can see here anyway, they've changed the entire midfield. That tells you everything you need to know about the game. My midfield was not working. When I've had to change the entire midfield, it means it wasn't working. The gaps that I was seeing for the goals, like, it was crazy. Like, it looked like these guys had just been thrown together. Like, it looked like they met yesterday. Power League settings. We met yesterday. We saying, where'd you play? Oh, I play like left back. All right, you go center back, and then, you know what I mean, I'll play in the front of you, bro. Like, come on, man. Needs to be a lot better than this in their next games, man. Needs to be so much more better than this, you know, for Lyon. Because again, I got kind of high hopes for them. Do you get what I mean? I've got pretty high hopes, you know, for Lyon this season. In terms of trying to listen, as I said, it's only game week 1, so there is a bit of a, all right, let's just cool it a little bit, but that performance, honestly, it was abysmal in my personal opinion, and I think Lyon are going to have to, you know, sort that out, you know, relatively quickly. But listen, we'll wait and see, you know, in regards to that. Now we are on to Barcelona. Listen, everybody knows, man. Barcelona, they're my G's. They're my G's. You know what I mean? That's like my home away from home. You get what I'm trying to say? Liverpool's my home. Barcelona's my home away from home. So I've always got time and always got love for these guys. I said earlier on, it's going to be interesting to see how Hansi Flick plays and his style of play, how Barcelona can kind of adjust to that. Now, they won the game 2-1. Do I think it was a vintage performance from Barcelona? No, I don't think it was. Obviously, it's a new manager with, I wouldn't say so much of a new system, but a different kind of system, which he also understands. And I said this before when he got hired, he's also going to need to understand that have your system, but your system and Barcelona's system that they've had for centuries or God knows how long, that system needs to be able to mesh together. Now, in this game, I felt like I saw that. You're seeing almost two systems trying to come together. Barcelona are used to popping the ball around, movement, keeping possession, slow and a bit methodical at times. It's like they were trying to mix that, but alongside, you know, pressing in certain areas, and, you know, at times, obviously here it's got up as like 4-2-3-1, right? But at times you saw like Rafinha would go up front, for example, and he would press alongside, Robert Lewandowski. Sometimes there will be no one, necessarily even there because Lewandowski would drop in. When he drops in, at other times, Ferran Torres and Lamine Yamal, they would be pushed forward as almost the strikers, and then you almost had like a 4-2-2 kind of system. The problem is when you had that, when Valencia had the ball and they were attacking, you also then had the two fullbacks who would then try to jump, who would then try to push forward to then get their man in front. When they did that, you had the space that was always left in behind for Barca. So I was just like, well, this isn't working, because obviously once that happens, now you just got the three at the back trying to do whatever it is, defensively and stuff like that, constantly getting caught out in those wide areas. Because Barca were playing, as I said, with that kind of 4-2-2, and it was a very narrow game from Barcelona. But I just felt like, again, and I'm trying not to be harsh, as I said, it's only the first game, but they need to work on how they press. I just felt like the press felt a little bit disjointed. It's almost like they were pressing in the game, obviously. It just wasn't being done properly. It wasn't, there was no real cohesion, in my personal opinion, because at first, especially when Valencia scored, at first I was sitting there thinking, ish, it's a bit techie, because the way you lot are pressing, it would only work well if it's done as a team, as a unit. It can't work if Balde is just going to jump. If he keeps jumping like this, you're constantly leaving a space at the back, because you got the two in the middle, Bernal and Casado. Those two in the middle are then tasked to, we needed to cover these two in the middle here, for example, from the Valencia team, and we also need to try and cover that wide area. Bro, that's a lot to cover. It's not easy. And to be honest, they played well. They played reasonably well for what they were tasked to kind of do in the game. Ferran Torres at times, honestly, I feel like this brother's lost, man. I don't even know why Barcelona signed him, man. Honestly, I do not think he's a good signing at all. That, like, for me, you should be getting, for me, Barca should be looking at players like this to get rid of. Or players like this to kind of get rid of. I feel like you can just, someone like Ansu Fati will probably do the same kind of job. Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think it'll be too much of a difference between the two players. But in this game, I didn't really, I wasn't really flexing with his performance. Ter Stegen at times looking shaky on the ball, but he's been like that for a little while. But Lamine Yamal got himself an assist. Lewandowski with the 2 goals. Rafinha played good, in my opinion, in this game. I felt like he was covering the areas as best as he possibly could, and he was being a genuine nuisance, if I'm being honest, for Valencia. But then in the second half, it got a little bit better. It got a little bit better. That's the same with my team, Liverpool. It's that first half kind of rubbish. Second half, you kind of up the tempo, you up the intensity, you up what you're good at. And if you do that, you're better than the other team anyway, because you got individual quality. It's the same thing, just exact same thing, just done with Barcelona. So, yeah, man. And obviously, little stat here. Funnily enough, most XG created in Europe's top 5 leagues over the opening weekend: Liverpool 3.5, Barcelona 3.4. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, so they were being a threat at times, but he just defensively, just wasn't really feeling it, if I'm being totally honest. But listen, it is what it is, isn't it, man? It is what it is. Good seeing Pedri. Really good seeing Pedri. This guy in injuries, him and Gavi, man. Oh my God, Xavi and Iniesta. You know what I'm saying? They're the regions. And unfortunately, man, we're just not really seeing them, man. We're just not really seeing them. In regards to news, it's been, obviously, there's a big one we'll get onto in a sec. We've obviously got Mikafe here. Lille have entered the race to sign Faye from Barcelona by sending an official bid. Lille and Rennes are leading the race, as both clubs have sent official proposals to Barca in the recent days. Barca will only let him go with a buyback clause and a sell-on clause. Jesus Christ, you're not asking for much. But yeah, you know what? Again, he was someone I thought maybe might be able to make, the Barcelona squad at least, kind of thing. But listen, if they're willing to let him go, we know financial issues that they're kind of, wishy-washy with at this current moment in time. So it probably does, in reality, it probably does, kind of make sense. This one that we've seen, obviously, with Rafael Leao, kind of came out of nowhere. That I've seen a bit of news about this in regards to him potentially joining Barca, but it's not even that. It's, can Barca even afford him? I think AC Milan want over like 90 odd mil. If I'm being honest, I feel like that's a £100 million deal that you're going to have to do, unless you're going to do, I'm trying to think, like, you need his contract to be like 1 year to go. I feel like that's the only real way that you're realistically going to get, someone like a Rafael Leao on a quote unquote cut price kind of deal, which will be less than 100 mil. And I don't think he is a 100 mil player I just think that's what AC Milan would quote anybody to try and sign him. Why Barca think that they've got money to just spend like this when these times you can't even register Dani Olmo at this present moment in time. So you need to pattern that up first and then, worry about Leao. That's where I feel like, with these kind of things, it might not that it may not necessarily be true. I'm not saying they wouldn't want him. If they couldn't get Nico Williams, I can understand why you would then go for someone like a Leao. But on the flip side, I am like, Barca, you just need to, what Barca need is, one, stop spending money that they don't have. Two, let go of some of these players, even if it means that the team isn't going to be as great as it probably should be. You got Vitor Roque, who we don't know if he's going on loan to Real Betis or he's going to stay at the club or whatever. You've got, like, in my opinion, I get Lewandowski. Listen, he scored the 2 goals the other day, but I'll be real. I'll be letting go of someone like Lewandowski, and you may as well just play Vitor Roque. I get it. Your team's not going to be as amazing. It's not going to be whatever you think it's, whatever you believe it is. But when I look at Barca, I just look at the team and I think to myself, you've just lost like the soul of this team, like in terms of, not even the team, sorry, because it's not the team's fault. You've lost the soul of the club. Like the way you're doing things right now, it's just not making any sense. Signing this player, but you can't even register him. Trying to let this player go, and obviously we'll get onto him now. You're trying to let Gundogan go. People, I know Barca fans will probably tell me, but he's on crazy wages. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry that he's on crazy wages, but that's not his fault. One of the best midfielders you have in your entire team. Better than De Jong, better than Casado, better than Bernat. He's better than all of them. Keep him in your team. You need that level of experience. I get it. You put him on really, really high wages. That's not his fault. Ultimately, get rid of the dead wages elsewhere. Any dead wood, get rid ASAP. You're just keeping around all of these players and you're putting them on crazy wages and stuff like, bro, it's just silly. It's just silly. And I almost feel like Barca don't want to take 3 years to just pattern themselves up before they then can go back and start doing everything, because you still got the infrastructure in terms of you're a massive club, you're a big draw, you've got a massive stadium. All of these kind of things work in your favor commercially anyway. Yes, if you do take 3 years out, team might just be a little bit disjointed here and this, and I get it. You want to remain competitive because it's almost like, to get out of the overdraft I'm in, I need to then work, but to work, I need to pay to get to work. So I'm having to pay to get to work, meaning I'm not even getting my full. You're just going around in circles at this current moment in time, because now as I said, you signed Dani Olmo and you can't even register him. That should have been a thought process put through your head time ago. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like, for me, Barca, the way you have been run at this present moment in time, I don't know what it is. I'm going to do a bit more research behind it. And again, if you're a Barcelona fan, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section. But the way, like, to me anyway, and I'm not going to say I'm an old school, like some of you, support Barcelona your whole lives. But let's just say I've supported them since the year 2003. Maybe even a bit before that, but we'll go with 2003. We're now in 2024. So a good 21 years. You get what I'm trying to say? I've kind of gone by, I've kind of flown by. And I've looked at this team and I've just thought, you've just gone like this for me. Like, and it's just more as a club. Forget the team. The team is a team, innit? You still got ballers in the team, but it's just as a club, like, it's so all over the gaff. Like, I don't even understand. It's like as soon as Messi, obviously the Kings left, Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, all of these kind of players, Pedro, when all of these guys left, Sergio Busquets was like the last one. Well, Sergio Roberto, but you know what I mean, in terms of like the real kings at the team. When those guys left, it's like it just got ripped out, PK and all of them guys, and then that's it now. Now you're just any run-of-the-mill team. You're literally just any run-of-the-mill kind of club. If it wasn't for the fact that you are Barcelona, I'll be honest, you are genuinely one of many other clubs. You're not a top European team at all. I could think of a lot of teams better than Barcelona, a lot. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Heck, just in the Premier League alone, who I would say, better than Barcelona at this current moment in time. I can think of about 2 or 3 Italian teams better than Barcelona at this time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just, for me, you're now just one of the other teams. Like, you're not a dead team, of course. You're just one of those teams, and that's what bugs me and hurts me when I think about the way that Barcelona have just kind of doing their business. And I mean, Fabrizio saying here, understand Barcelona have 100% decided to let Gundogan leave for free. Stupid. For free. Like, you haven't got any money, but here we go. Manchester City are working on details of the deal with Gundogan's agent now in UK to get their comeback done. As revealed earlier, Pep Guardiola also said yes, up to Gundo's green light. I can't see him, potentially saying no, to something like that. But it's just, like I said, man, your whole business is crazy. Absolutely crazy. De Jong, get him out of the club. Get him out of the club. I'm sorry, this ain't Messi that you're talking about. Ain't Iniesta, Busquets. Heck, he's not even as good as Rakitic. So get this guy out of the club. You can find bare De Jongs around there, man. I'm telling you right now, he's not that good. I'm sorry to say. I know there's people who love De Jong and think he's this, think he's that. Yeah, great, good for you. But he's really not as good as you think he is. Trust me. Trust me. You will soon notice with these Ajax players, man, it's all funny in the light, and he's one of them. Like, leave them kind of players, move on. You got two midfielders there who do the exact same job as he does. I promise you, things wouldn't be any much better with him in the team. Or the difference would be so minimal that you may as well, for the wages that this guy is on, may as well just let him leave. May as well get him out of the club. I'm not saying it's so easy, but I am saying that you do need to pattern it up and sort it out. But listen, I could talk about Barca all day long, man. Let's move on to the next one. So, last up, we have got Juve. Now I'm relaxed. Now I'm cool. But yeah, now we've got Juve. 3-0 victors in their first game against Como. Fabregas. Former Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, midfielder, Monaco as well, midfielder. He manages them. They're a good little team. Like, do you know what I mean? When I was watching the game, they're like a decent little team. I can see, maybe, depending on whether he's able to adapt or not, whether or not they'll be able to, maybe get a few victories against teams that you just think, oh, okay, fair kind of thing. I think it's going to be one of those kind of situations. But listen, we'll wait and we'll have to see in regards to that. But listen, man, Juve ran out, of course, 3-0 winners. We got Timothy Weir, obviously getting his first goal. Kambula also getting his first goal in the game. I did feel that what's his name? What is the strikers? Vlahovic. I did feel like Vlahovic was a little bit unlucky in the game, to be fair, because he had a couple of chances as well. Yeah, man, Juve, for me, it was like a comfortable in the end kind of thing. It was one of those kind of victories where you're like, yeah, I expect you to get a victory, clean sheet as well. Nothing too crazy. A bit of news, obviously, you got Turkish Kenan Yildiz. He signed a new deal up until 2029, and he's also been given the number 10 shirt. And apparently, he's actually leading the votes for the European Golden Boy, which I did find kind of amazing, because I thought that would be Lamine Yamal's kind of wrapped up, if I'm being super honest. I mean, he just won, the European Championships, at such a young age as well. Star player for them, in that European Championship. I kind of had him as the winner, but listen, hey, I'm not the one making the votes. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, man, interesting one. But apparently he is leading the votes for that. But he's a very good player anyway. So this kind of one is pretty good, because I feel like it's a bit more even. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Obviously, it's not like before. You always knew there was like a standout winner, like, oh, because this guy did this, Jude Bellingham or whoever kind of thing. You just always knew who was going to win it. But this one, yeah, it seems like it's a little bit, yeah, it's a bit even. It's a bit more even kind of thing. A bit like the Ballon d'Or. We don't really know who's going to win that. And then obviously Pierre Calulu to Juventus. Here we go. The deal is in place after further talks reported earlier today. The loan fee will be around 3 to 4 million fixed fee plus 40 million euro buy option clause. Not mandatory. It's not mandatory, by the way. So they at least get their player in, see how he does, and then if they want to sign him, they can. But if they do sign him, these are all the deals. These are all the bonuses and stuff like that get included. Not mandatory. Plus 3 million in add-ons. 10% sell-on clause confirmed in case deal becomes permanent in 2025. Guys, that is this week's episode done and dusted. As I mentioned before, let me know in the comment section if there's anything you wanted me to go through, anything you wanted me to kind of see. What I will do is, obviously, I was hoping that, with Bayern Munich, they would be, currently sitting, after one league game, but we'll wait anyway. Once it gets to at the end of each month, we'll take a look at the league table for every single league. And then we'll obviously be able to, it'll give a bit better overview of what's kind of going on, as opposed to after every single game, checking it out. And then, of course, we can then just monitor it from there. So again, as I said before, people, let me know what you think in the comment section. That is Euro Club 4-4 done and dusted. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, man. Peace.